this topic of the great filter hypothesis. What is this hypothesis?
Yeah, so I mean, when we look out to the universe, we don't see galactic empires. We don't see loud radio signatures of civilizations. And so this is the Fermi paradox. Why, if it seems reasonable, and it is an assumption that, if it's reasonable to expect life and intelligence to develop, that's the assumption, then how come we don't see evidence for it? That seems in conflict. So the paradox is that under this particular assumption, you have contrasting evidence against that supposition. So the great filter is one of the resolutions to this, and it suggests that there are certain bottlenecks in the emergence of intelligent life and ultimately to a radio loud civilization that greatly reduce the probability of making it to the next step. So that probability could be the great filter, could be that life itself is just an incredibly unusual phenomenon, or maybe life is pretty common, but the development of the eukaryote cell or something like this, some kind of high efficiency metabolism, is an incredibly unusual evolutionary adaptation. Or it might be that the great filter is the development of hominids or intelligent life, technological species, opposable thumbs, whatever you want to call it, something which can manipulate the world around it and produce technology. So it's possible that any of those previous things are the great filter, but the great filter could also be ahead of us. It's something we've not yet encountered, but is imminent. And that would be maybe some kind of self-annihilation scenario through, maybe nuclear war or AGI takes over or something like this. Or, it could be that the great filter is even further ahead than that, and maybe civilizations have this kind of dark forest fear that they just choose not to engage in that kind of interaction. So there is some filter, doesn't have to be existential, but there's some filter which stops the universe being loud, essentially, in terms of why don't we see these clear evidence for civilizations all around us, because there's 100 billion stars in our galaxy alone, so there's plenty of opportunities for that to happen, and yet we just don't see any evidence for it.